All right, let's go ahead and get started here, and I'm going to talk to you later on about how to download the graphing calculator online, and it has the same exact functions as the school calculator. There is no difference whatsoever. They're the same thing, except it's like TI 83, and the calculator from school, it's like a little bit more updated. All right, so today we are going to be talking about the topic. So if you do have your notebook or anything, I would really appreciate it if you can just get it out and try to write whatever we're doing here. I mean, like, it's the same thing as a classroom. All right. So we are going to be talking about solving polynomial functions. Solving polynomial functions. And I would like for you to go ahead and get started on this. If I want you to solve, and we did go over this one in the classroom before, so please go ahead and try to solve this for x. Question number 1. If I have x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. All right. Try to solve it, and I'll give you like a minute to solve it by yourself. If you can find something, great. If you cannot, that's fine. And just in the chat box, write it down if there is, and if you got the answer, or if you don't know how to do it, just type it in the chat box and you should be able to see it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started and see how this works. First of all, if I try to use the factoring method, it's not gonna work because there is no two numbers, you multiply them to get 5, and when you add these two numbers, you got 2. It is not gonna work. So the best and easiest way to can find this one is to use the quadratic formula. So let's write this down here, the quadratic formula. If you don't remember it, it is okay. If you don't remember the quadratic formula, we're gonna write it right now. So, and just try to remember it. That is something you should remember it by now for any future tests, SAT, ACT exams, or Math 3 or Math 4, so on and so forth. So the formula is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, where a, so in this question right here, I'm going to write in a equals b equals c equals. All right, in the chat box, what is a? Come on, quickly. All right, Kaylee, 1. Okay, the x squared is not a. X squared is the first one. So a is the coefficient right here, which is 1. All right, what is b? All right, it should be 2. Okay, perfect. All right, how about c? It's supposed to be 5. So this is a, b, and c. Let's put in the formula. So that would be x equals negative b, which is 2, negative 2, plus or minus square root of b squared, which is 2 squared. And I prefer to put b squared in the parentheses like this, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 5. Oh, we can see that. All right, divide by 2 times a, which is 1. All right, let's find the value for this one here. When you find the value of this, let's pay attention to this carefully here. Yes, this was math 2, but we need it for today's lesson. What happened here, first step, you will need write down -2 plus or minus first, and then the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5. You can always use the calculator to do that. So that's 4 minus 20, supposed to be square root of 4 minus 20, -16. Supposed to be -16. Divide by 2. All right, anybody knows what is the square root of -16? Come on. Please write it down in the chat box. All right, is it 4? Is it for real 4? Let's see. If I share my calculator with you here, let's see if I can get this here. Here you go. All right, can you see the calculator? Can you see the, no? Okay. Can you see it now? All right, if that's fine, I will work on this one for next time. But anyway, the square root of -16, if you put this in the calculator, it is not going to, let me go back here. If you put it in the calculator, it is not going to, it's going to give you an error or not real number. So the square root of -16, give me 1 second. All right, square root of -16, square root of -16 is equal to the same thing as the square root of -1 times square root of 16. Square root of -1, if you remember this from math 2, it is the same as I. So that is I times the square root of 16, which is 4. So that's the same as 4I. All right, so if I'm going to get back here to the question, and let's do this. So that's going to be x equals -2 plus or minus square root of -16, we just got it, which is 4I divided by 2. All right, so, and the next step to simplify this one, you're going to have to do either or. Either x equals -2 plus 4I divided by 2, or x equals -2 minus 4I divided by 2. Either this one or the other one. All right, now to simplify this one, can I rewrite it like this? And please let me know if you're confused here. Can I rewrite it like this? X equals -2 over 2 plus 4I over 2. Please write it in the chat box if you don't understand it. Okay, if you understand it, type 1. All right. If you don't understand, type 2. Okay, let me give you a side note right here, quickly. All right, let's cover everything right here and think about this. Let's think about this one. If I give you something like 2 plus 4 divided by 2, how do you solve this one? Obviously, 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. All right, can I write it like this? So the answer should be 3, right? So if I write it like this, 2 divided by 2 plus 4 divided by 2 is the same thing. 2 divided by 2 is the same as 1 plus 4 divided by 2, which is the same as 2. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Sure. I'll slow down a little bit. Okay. Let me give you another example. If I got 6 over 3 plus, let me just change that, plus 6 over 3 plus 9 over 3 equals what? So to solve this one, basically you have the same like common denominator. You keep them, 3 down here, 6 plus 9, and you put it 6 plus 9. If you want to look at it backward, 6 plus 9 over 3 is the same as 6 over 3 plus 9 over 3. Let's carry this to our problem right here. Negative 2 plus 4i over 2 is the same as negative 2 over 2 plus 4 over 2. All right? So we're going to simplify it a little bit more further. So negative 2 divided by 2 is the same as negative 1 plus 4i divided by 2, 4 divided by 2, which is the same as 2 times I. Any question? If you're going to do the same thing, okay, if you lost, I'll go over one more like similar to this. All right, same thing, we're going to do the same thing with the second one. Negative 2 minus 4i divided by 2 is the same as negative 2 divided by 2 minus 4i divided by 2. That will be negative 2 divided by 2 is the same thing. And the minus 4 divided by 2, which is the same as 2i. All right, if you lost, it is okay. Just keep it like this for now. Let's move on to the real problem from Math 3, and we're going to come back to this one after that. All right. Let's get into Desmos. All right. If you have access to Desmos, it is okay. If you don't right now, if you don't, it is okay. We're gonna, I'm gonna explain it to you in a few seconds, and we'll go over it in a few seconds. All right, if I give you a problem like this one right here, x cubed minus x squared plus 5x, x cubed minus x squared minus x squared plus 5x plus 5x minus 5 equals to 0. All right? If you get a problem like this and you want to solve it, and you must know how to do it manually. On the final exam, you're not going to have it as like a multiple choice question. It's going to be like some kind of, they're going to ask you in the middle of the question, drag and drop. And you're going to have to show your work at some point in the test and final exam. How do you solve a problem like this cubic function? I'm going to do one by myself, and I'll give you a few minutes to do another one by yourself. X cubed minus x squared plus 5x minus 5. Obviously, you cannot factor this one because it is not a quadratic equation. But what you can do here is, first step, you need to graph it. Can you graph it in Desmos or the calculator and find the first root or the first 0. If I graph this one, it is going to look like this. If I graph this one, it will look like, give me 1 second. So if I graph it in my calculator, let me see what I can do here. If I graph it, I'm just trying to type in x cubed minus x squared plus 5x minus 5. So when I graph it in my calculator, it's going to look like, okay, let me get here. it will go to positive. Okay, so on your Desmos, if you graph it on Desmos or calculator, is going to look like this. This is +1, so the graph is going to look like something like this. All right. So where is your root? If this is 1, where is your root? We did this in the class multiple times. What is the root here? Remember, the root is the same as the solution, is the same as X-intercept, is the same as what else? Root, X-intercept, solution, and zeros are the same. All right, so the first root here, right here is 1. So that means the first solution, the first answer is x equals 1. Okay, remember one thing. What is the highest exponent right here? What is the highest exponent in this equation right here? It is cubed. What's the highest exponent? So the highest exponent is 3. Since the highest exponent is 3, that means you're going to have 3 solutions here. You're going to have 3 solutions. All right? So we got the first solution, which is x equals to +1. We got it right here. That's the first solution. Okay. Now let's get to the second step. Your second step, you're going to use synthetic division to find the other two roots. Let's use synthetic division to find the other two roots. Okay, how do you use synthetic division? Basically, the first root is 1. That's your first root. So you're going to put it right here, +1. All right? And now I got this equation. I'm going to divide this equation by +1. All right, can you help me to put the numbers? If you can type in the numbers beside each other and leave a space in between. What number should go here? Come on, I need at least 10, 15 answers. Come on. So it's supposed to be +1. Good job, Tahir. Good job, Shay. Azaria. +1. Matthew. The next one is, see right here, -1. So it's +1, -1, +5. Leave a little space. -1, +5, and -5. Great. Now let's solve that. How about you take a few seconds and try to solve this one and find answers. All right, x squared plus 0x plus 5. Let's see. No remainder? Yes, you're not going to get a remainder in here. You should not get a remainder. It's supposed to be a 0. That's a good point, Azaria. All right. All right, can I go right now? All right, so here's the way to do synthetic division. This is a quick review on what we did last week in the class. +1, we're going to bring the +1 down. That's your first step. And then you multiply +1 times 1. You multiply this. 1 times 1 is equal to 1 right here. Okay, and then you add. -1 plus -1 is equal to 0. All right? And then you do the same thing. Multiply 0 times 1 is equal to 0. 5 plus 0 equals 5. And do the same concept. Multiply 5 times 1 equals 5. -5 plus 5 is equal to 0. And that will be a remainder. Remember, the remainder must be 0. It cannot be anything else in this kind of question. Okay? All right, let's get back to whatever we just started. All what I'm asking you to do right now is to solve this equation for x, okay? And you must get 3 solutions. When you graph it, most of the graph, and I just let me tell you from now, on the test, you're gonna have only one x-intercept, something like similar to this. You're gonna have only one x-intercept. You graph it, you got this point, the x-intercept, and that will be your first solution, which means we're missing 2 other solutions. Your second solution and the third one, to find these, you're gonna have to use synthetic division, and after I get the synthetic division, I got the equation right here, which is x squared plus 0x, which is, you know what, let me write it, plus 5 equals 0. And that is the quadratic equation right here. Now we need to solve this quadratic equation to get the other 2 solutions. And that will be your third step right here. Your third step is I want you to use the quadratic formula I want to use a quadratic formula to find the other 2 solutions. All right? We're going to use a quadratic formula. I want you to take few minutes, a few seconds, whatever you want to take. And I want you to use a quadratic formula. Here's a quadratic formula for your reference. Let me pull it from here. Quadratic formula. All right. And let me put it down here for you. So I want you to use this one right here. And use the quadratic formula. Find answers using the quadratic formula. Okay, did you get anything? Okay, let me go ahead and solve this one. So I got A. A equals 1, B equals 0, C equals 5. So that would be X equals negative B, so it's going to be negative 0, plus or minus square root of B squared, which is 0 squared, minus 4 times 1 for A times C, which is 5. Divide by 2 times A, which is 1. So give you X equals negative B plus negative 0, which is the same as just 0. So it's going to be plus or minus square root of negative 4 times 5, that's negative 20. Negative 20. Divide by 2. Okay? Now your final answer will be either or. X equals square root of negative 20, obviously because there's a negative inside the square root, so it's going to be I from the outside, square root of 20 divided by 2. And remember, you cannot cancel the 20 with the 2, because in reality this is not 20. This is square root of 20. All right, so you cannot. And the other one, X equals negative I square root of 20 divided by 2. All right? You can leave it like this for now. I'm not going to bother with the simplifying the equation. And if for any reason, if you see the question, for example, I'm going to show you how you're going to see it on Canvas in a few minutes when we get to Canvas. It's right here. So when you see it on Canvas, it's going to look like this. All right, which one will be the answer? What you need to do here is you're just going to put this into the calculator. When you put square root of 20 divide by 2 in the calculator, all right, we get square root of 20 divide by 2, it is going to equal to 2.23. So that will be x equals, is going to be x equals I times 2. It's going to be 2.23 or 24 actually. I times 2.24, or x equals 2.24 I, with the positive or the negative. So here's the positive, and the negative is negative 2.24 I. So which one is that the answer going to be? If you try, obviously the answer, the first x value, we got it right here, which is x equals positive 1. All right. So the answer should be either A or B. It cannot be C. It cannot be D. And obviously it's not B because it's 2.24. That is a square root of 5. So that would be the answer. Choice A. There is no shorter way to solve this problem. If there is, I'll be the first one to tell you. Obviously, if I give you a question like this one here, and I want you to solve it, you can always graph the x cubed minus x squared plus 5x minus 5 and submit it to Desmos and see where the graph intersects the x-axis, going to intersect the x-axis at just one point, and that will be the real solution. But the imaginary solution, it's unfortunate, you're going to have to do it by hand. You're going to have to do it. All right? So these are the 3 steps. Step number 1, one more time before I give you a problem to do by yourself. Step number 1, when you see a problem like this, you're going to graph it. You can always go to Desmos in your web page, wherever you got. And all right, here's Beyonce is here. Welcome, Beyonce. You can go to Desmos and graph it and find X-Intercept. Step number 2, use synthetic division where the positive 1 goes into the box right here. And step number 3, use quadratic formula to solve the problem. All right? I'll give you about 2 to 3 minutes. All right? I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes to try to do this problem by itself. It is okay to get it wrong. It is okay if you don't know how to solve it. That would be fine. Let me give you this one right here. Very similar to the other one. All right, take a few minutes and do this by yourself. If you have any question, you can always send it in the chat. I will pause myself for a few minutes till you're done. Once you're done, just type done in the chat. Oh, yes, okay. I'm sorry. So I graphed it on Desmos, and when I graphed it, I was lucky and I found 3 different dots, 3 different X-intercepts. And so the solution will be 2, 1.732, and the negative 1.732. But again, most likely on the test, you're not going to see it like this. Probably going to see it, oh no. You're probably going to see it like this. Something like this, where the X-intercept is going to be just 1 point. I'm just making up some numbers. All right. But as of right now here, first step, you want to find 1 point as your X-intercept. You're going to find one point as your x-intercept. So obviously, I'm not going to pick this point because it is not an actual rational point. It's irrational. I am not going to pick this one. I will pick this one, the 2 and 0. And that would be my first point. So let's go back to the, let's go back. Let's go back to the, okay, let's new share. There you go. All right, can you see that? Let's, all right, can you see this one now? All right, so how do you solve this one here? What we are going to do now is we're going to follow the same steps. I'm going to follow the same steps. When I graph it on Desmos, this is what I got. I got this one, so I got something like this, where this point right here is positive 2. So your first step, I got x equals to positive 2. That's my first step. Okay, now we need to find other two roots. We're going to follow the same thing, which is I am going to make my box right here. I put 2 inside the box, and let's put the numbers. There is 1 right here, and this is negative 2, so I'm going to put 1, negative 2, negative 3, positive 6. And now let's try to find the solution here. I will bring the 1 down. 1 times 2 is positive 2, gives me 0. 0 times 2 is positive 2. Add negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. What's wrong here? Am I doing anything wrong here? We should not see a remainder. X cubed, I put the 1 down. 1 times 2 is 2. Oh, you're right. Okay, thank you. Got it. My fault. All right, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Negative 3 plus 0 is supposed to be negative 3. Did you know why I know it is wrong? Because negative 3 times 2, it has to be negative 6. Because the remainder must be 0. The remainder has to be 0. It cannot be anything else. All right? So the answer will be x squared. As of right now, x squared plus 0x minus 3 equals 0. All right? And now, what you need to do here is identify A, B, and C. A is 1, B is 0, C is negative 3. And let's use the quadratic formula. X equals negative B, which is going to be negative 0, plus or minus square root of B squared, which is going to be 0 squared, minus 4, times A, which is 1, times C, which is negative 3. Divide by 2 times A, which is 1. It gives you x equals positive or negative. Obviously, negative 0, it's just 0. Cancel out. Positive or negative is square root of negative 4 times 3, that is positive 12. Square root of 12 divide by 2. If you want to simplify the square root of 12, that could be square root of 12 is 4 times 3. That will be 2 square root of 3. If you don't remember how to do this one, don't worry about it. Cancel the 2 with the 2. The answer will be positive or negative square root of 3. How? Okay, if you don't know how to get to this point, it is okay to leave it like this. It is fine to leave it like this. It is okay to leave it like this. All right, it is okay to leave it like this. And just get to the calculator, put square root of 12 divided by square root of 12 divided by 2. The answer will be 1.73. So x is equal to x equals to 1.73, and actually, or x equals to negative 1.73. So here you go. I got three different solutions: the 1.73, negative 1.73, and the other one that we got earlier today, which is x equals positive 2. All right? I hope you understand it now. We only did 2 problems, which is okay. As long as if you understand it, everything will be fine. All right? Now, which one will be the right choice? Obviously, 1.73, it's not 5. Square root of negative 5, square root of negative 5 is, or square root of 5, it's not 1.73. It's not 1 and negative 1. It is not i's. We don't have any negative number under the square root, so the answer must be choice D. Okay, so here's the deal. I understand it is a online. It's not the same as the classroom, and today I tried to use a smart notebook, which is not smart. I usually use the Microsoft Word. It's a lot easier, a lot simpler, and the font is smaller, so you can see it, and it fits better into any device such as laptop or iPad or even cell phones, smartphones. Sometimes fits a lot better. Anyway, next time I'm going to use Microsoft Word. It's a lot easier than this one. I am going to post all the work into your Canvas. You will see it in Canvas. And try to do as much as you can. Try to do as much as you can. And we'll go over it next time. We will be meet as of right now. I have a meeting tomorrow. We do have a faculty meeting tomorrow with Mr. Brewington and the rest of the faculty, and we'll see what or where they are planning to do next. And I will let you know by next time. Please check your email, your school email, or check your the text messages that I send you. You can always get in touch with me on when you go to CapGrade. Let me just show you. Let me show you something here. When you go to CapGrade, can you see that one? When you go to CapGrade, at the bottom of the website, you can always chat with me. I'm always live. I'm like, if I'm not sleeping, I'm always there. All right, and I always respond to the messages. It just pops up to my cell phone, and I just respond to messages. That's the easiest and quickest way you can find me. Remind, of course, but the problem with Remind is that I am limited to 140. How do you call it? 140 letters. 140 letters. So it's like Twitter. So it's easier if you can just get to CapGrade. That would be a lot easier. All right. What else? Anything you want to share it with anybody else? If you're a little bit confused, I am going to share this video with everybody on Canvas, and the notes, of course, will be shared into Canvas. You can always get back to it and watch it. And that's it. Any question you have for me, I will be here for the next 5 minutes. If you have any question or anything, we can I can go over it. And I hope you guys are safe, your parents and all your family is safe. Please try not to go out, stay home, and hopefully can get this. Welcome back to my channel. All right, so the test, regards to the test. When I left last Friday, I had a lot of meetings, and I wasn't able to get to the test. I graded them, but I wasn't able to put them in PowerSchool. As soon as they open the building, I will go in, and the first task, I'll put those test grades in. But let me tell you something, most of you got hundreds and 90s. So don't worry, I don't think I have failures in that test. You guys did a great job. You're amazing. All right. Anybody have any question? You know what? Or what I can do now, I can take off that 0, and you should not be able to. It's not going to affect anything in your grade. Let me take it down today, and when I get the grades in, I can put it in. Yes, we are finished as of right now. I'm going to upload everything on Canvas. You should have it in the next few minutes, and I'll see you on which day? I'll see you on Monday at 6 p.m. So try to be in before 6 p.m. around 5:45. And the thing is, when someone joins the class after 6 p.m., if I don't see them, I am not going to be able to admit them. And it happens for a couple of you came late in today. And when you come late, it shows in my log, like by the end of the class, when I end the session, it shows in my log who came in late and who left the class early and what time exactly. So just make sure you're in on time. No, you're not joining in tomorrow. You're going to be on Monday. Today's Thursday. So we're meeting, as of right now, we're meeting on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Yes, next session will be on Monday. We have no idea if the EOC going to take place in January or sorry, in June, or when the quarter gonna end. I'm trying to get everybody into this chat room and try to do the online tutorial. I have no idea. We're just gonna wait until Wake County public school system come up with some kind of a plan, and we're all gonna follow it. I mean June, not January. If you are a junior and taking the SAT or ACT, as you know, it is canceled and it's postponed to somewhere in May, I believe, in June. And most likely, if the situation is not going to improve, it's going to be postponed again. Whatever you're hearing from the rumors, that is not true, Joanna. You're just going to have to wait for the county. We don't have anything official yet. And as soon as I get something, I'll text you or email you or chat with you, whatever, but nothing. No, we didn't hear anything from them yet. Nobody knows anything yet. Again, nobody knows anything yet. We're just waiting. We're waiting. Anybody have any thing good for the group before we finish this meeting? All right, so when you come in next time, this time it's just a it is just get to know how is it going to work. Next time we're gonna have access to Kahoot and have access to Canvas while we're working here. I'm going to show you some of the stuff on Canvas next time. You're going to have access to work together in groups. So I will divide you next time into 3 to 4 people per group. You work together, share the work, and then I will unmute someone and you will take and you'll be able to present what you know and what you came up with. But I did not do it this time. Just I want you to get the feel of how it looks like this time. If you are late, if you are late, that's okay. I will share the video online on Canvas. Just go to Canvas in the next hour or so, and you will find the video, the work, the notes, and everything, and you should be able to follow. All right, so if you are done, you can just close it in the meeting, and I will end it in, I'll give you like another minute or two if you have any question. And you can always chat with me on capgrade.com or remind or send me a text message. That's fine. Anything. All right. See everybody on Monday. All right. Have a good night.